Hi, thank you for joining us today for some QuickBooks training. We are going to be looking at QuickBooks Enterprise, and I'm going to be going over some of the non-profit features. So when you pick QuickBooks Enterprise, you get to pick what industry you want. So in this example, we're going to go over the non-profit and what additional features you will see in that version. So what you will see is the ability to be able to set up budgets, and you can be able to set up budgets for the overall organization as well as a budget for each class. And that's what I would recommend. If you're going to do a budget, it's nice that you have a budget to begin with, but what makes it really useful is that you create a budget for each of your programs as well as your administrative, so that way you can be able to see which programs are self-sustaining, where the money's coming from and going to specifically. As well, in the nonprofit, you can see that you can enter donations, pledges, receive payments against those pledges, be able to make deposits, enter bills, paying bills, and then of course writing checks. You can be able to set up programs, which in QuickBooks, that is done through the class list. So what that allows you to do is be able to set up what we call a class for each of your programs. So maybe you only have 3 programs, or maybe you have 33 programs. You would set those up as classes in QuickBooks. If you are doing a completely new file, you can be able to import the nonprofit chart of accounts and then be able to customize it to your liking. It also allows you to send letters to your donors. As well, you can see different types of reports. So you can see who your biggest donors are. You can see a budget versus actuals by grants and donors. You can see a grants report, donor contribution, budget versus actual on your programs. You can also see your statement of financial income, your statement of financial position, as well as statement of functional expenses for your 990. I'm going to show you quickly just a few of those options. So the first one is to be able to look at your budget versus actual by programs and projects. So what this is going to show you is what you budgeted as well as what your actuals were. This is what it would look like if you don't have a budget in there and you just have actual dollars. But ideally what you want is to be able to see your actuals, your budget, how many dollars you're over the budget or under the budget, and the percentage that you're over or under the budget. And you can see this by month, by quarter, by year, and be able to see it by each of your programs. This is really a value when you can be able to look at it and say, you know, I budgeted, we would have 10,000 in and we would spend 4,000 this month, leaving a reserve of 6,000, and then be able to see what you actually took in. And then if you do that each month of your fiscal year, being able to track that information to see, are you over or under what you budgeted, and be able to adjust your expenses if what you're bringing in is less than you anticipated. A couple other things I want to show you real quick under your nonprofit reports. Being able to see your biggest donors, you can see them as a percentage. With any of these, whenever you want to see the detail behind it, you simply just double click and you can be able to see, was that on one invoice, multiple invoices, etc. So those are the key things I wanted to share with you today, is just what are some of the high-level features that you will see in the nonprofit version, in addition to all of your normal day-to-day activities. So thank you for joining us, and stay tuned. We will be creating some very specific videos that show each one of those areas in particular detail and a little bit more how to.